beautiful, what's today? Tuesday? Let's call it Tuesday. Oh, let's turn this one on too. There we go. I feel like it's been forever. Didn't ride yesterday. Didn't really ride over the weekend. Busy, busy, busy. So I decided against getting a Streetfighter for now. Not because I didn't like the bike, but you know, but to be honest, I wasn't like, man, this is phenomenal. I can't live my life without this bike. This is so much better than my Monster. I didn't get that feeling. I mean, listen, like, I feel the bike, right? I feel the performance. I took it out for a test drive that day that I recorded that last video on whether I should sell my Monster, and on that test drive, you know, I had this guy take me out from Ducati NYC. He rode a Desert X, which is, by the way, a phenomenal fucking bike. Sounds amazing too. They had one in the shop with a Akrapovich exhaust on it. Anyway, so we went out, did our thing, and behind there's a UPS building there with a long straight, and rarely anyone ever goes down. That was probably the closest I've ever come to picking up the front wheel on a bike ever, and it was on a fucking test drive. The Streetfighter, you know, like I said before, you know, on the Monster, the power band is literally all throughout the fucking thing. Pick an RPM, there's your power band. On the Streetfighter, the power band doesn't really kick in until like 7K, 7,500 or so. And fuck, man, when it kicks in, it takes you up. If you're hammering it and you're not ready for that power, that front wheel's coming up. And honestly, on a bike that doesn't necessarily like picking up the front wheel, Ducati have gone to great lengths to keep that thing planted. Wings for one, literally wings. But anyway, it was a great test ride. But you know, I didn't get that feeling that's like, bro, gotta have this bike. You know, I'm walking away with this bike. I almost did, honestly, actually end up walking away with the bike, but I decided to sleep on it, and I did a ton more research, and basically came to the conclusion that, listen, Ducati's going to release an update to the Streetfighter for 2023. That's due out, I think November of this year or so. And yeah, I know, like, they may release the update, they may release the news, but who knows when dealerships will actually have them, and I'm fine with waiting. I'm good with it. I love my Monster. I love the way it sounds, I love the way it feels, etc., etc., etc. But the new Streetfighter should have the Panigale electronics, which are a huge step above. I don't know if I could say huge, but whatever. They're a good step above what Streetfighter currently has. Which, by the way, for a $25,000 bike, still doesn't have a fucking gas gauge. So whatever. You know, even this $20,000 Monster has one. Not sure of its accuracy, but you know, whatever. At least it's the right amount of inaccurate all the time. So yeah, I decided to wait. The 2023 Streetfighter is also going to have an updated gas tank, the Panigale gas tank, which, you know, gets you another 8 to like 10 mile per gas tank range or so. At least that's what the calculations I've seen were. Which is gonna, you know, not gonna be that huge of a difference, but a little, you know, makes a difference. It makes a little bit of a difference, I guess. Some of the electronics are going to be updated even aside from the dash. So like engine braking control, which I think is interesting for Ducati. This Monster, at least, is a beast when you let off the throttle. And I, you know, I don't mind. I don't mind at all, but you know, was not easy to learn on. The moment that you let off the throttle, you're dead stopped. Right? It's like braking on a Rivian. God, I love how this bike sounds. I've just become one with the bike, and really, like, over the past maybe 2 months, which I think is actually honestly relatively quick considering that I've only just started riding in February. The Streetfighter is a lot more docile to ride around town, which from a logic perspective makes sense, I think, in the city, because it doesn't want to tear your face off every time you get on the throttle. But from a visceral kind of like motorcycles are meant to have a good time perspective, not fantastic, right? Because if I want to blast out a, you know, from a light or from a bad situation, if I'm not in the power band, which for the most part I'm not going to be in the city, you know, even on the test ride, I didn't really get, there was only one time that I got out of first gear, you know, and that was probably at around 8K or so, maybe going 35 miles an hour. I could be wrong, but you know, yeah, it was right around there. I don't know. It had the stock exhaust on it, which was really docile. I'm so used to like the pops and kicks and brawny exhaust on this Monster that it was just, I don't know, didn't evoke the same feeling. And on, like, you could change the exhaust, sure, you know, I would anyway. A full exhaust, okay, so even just the tip, which does eliminate the cat and the flap, which is great, you know, and probably all that you would really need. Just the tip, just the parts alone for the I think it was for the Terminioni exhaust, was $4,000 for just the fucking tip, you know, and not including installation. And honestly, for that installation, you know, maybe I'd probably do that myself. The full exhaust on a 2020 Streetfighter, and as far as I'm concerned, 2020 and above Streetfighter, is $6,000. I think the full, and that's titanium, I think the full titanium exhaust on this bike is $1,000. $1,000. That's a huge fucking difference. That's enormous, right? And like, yes, I do want to take the bike to the track, but man, like, $1,000, and maybe with installation on the Monster, maybe it'll be something like $1,700, to, with installation on the Streetfighter, probably around $8,000 for the full exhaust. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, those are big bucks, man. I mean, that's another Monster. $8,000 will buy me a good used Monster. So I decided to wait, and I think what I'll do is once the new one comes out, I'll see what the weight is on that, and either I'll look for that one, I'll look to get something like that, or I will look again in the used market, and hopefully with the new bikes introduced, hopefully the pricing on the used market will compress a little bit. And maybe instead of paying, you know, $22,000 for a used Street Fighter, maybe it'll be something like 20, right? That $2,000 is worth it. And by the way, the Street Fighter that I test drove was a used Street Fighter. It's about 22 grand, which is about a $3,000 discount. But it had, I mean, it had 1,500 miles on it. It was just basically new. It did ride a little rough and low RPMs, like quite a bit rough and low RPMs, you know, to the point where, like, huh. Come on, lady. To the point where, you know, I kind of had second thoughts on that particular Street Fighter. It wasn't a deciding factor for me, because if I really wanted a Street Fighter now, I would have just looked for another one. But yeah, them's the breaks. I almost walked home that day with another bike, but logic prevailed. Decided to sleep on it, and here we are. We're going to continue our journey, our story with the Monster for the time being, which, you know, could be worse. I have no complaints with this Monster whatsoever. Fantastic bike. I'm honestly also curious to see what Ducati does on the electric bike front. I don't give a shit what you say. I would 100% hop on an electric Ducati. Even the Livewire, which is Harley Davidson's electric bike, I can. Well, okay, no, I'm lying. I can't see myself riding, but I took it out for an hour or so the other day, and it was a hot day, tons of traffic. And that bike was literally built for that environment. What a fantastic general idea. I can't say that it's a fantastic bike. It's not. Super plasticky, little small for me anyway. And just not refined. You know, the whole fucking. You know, my turn signals are where they should be, right here on my left hand, you know, the non-busy hand, aside obviously from my clutch. Harley had a turn signal here and a turn signal fucking here. Why would you do that? Right? This hand is kind of busy doing things, stopping and going. This hand, not so much. Why would Harley give my right hand yet another thing to worry about? Well, I don't know. Harley riders aren't really doing much with their right hand, are they? They're neither stopping or going very well. So, I don't know. Maybe it fits. But I also can't imagine that bike is built for, like, for the Harley guys either. Or girls. Because, I mean, it's just not. The bike doesn't look like a Harley. It looks like something else entirely. Looks like something Vespa would build, maybe. It also has this really odd thumping feature, like a heartbeat. I'm good, man. Yeah. Those guys are fucking aggressive, huh? He did like my mustache, so there's that. It's nice. It is hot. There's no way that it's 70 degrees. No way. My phone's dimming. My shit's sweating. I'm squidding. It's hot. Anyway, that's about it. I'm on my way to Ducati. I'm almost there. Peace.